Hey, Poodle fam, here we go. It is Wednesday. It is the day of the week we all look forward to. I know I do. I am just here ready to, you know, just do my weekly therapy today. We've got another great one. We're actually doing something brand new today. We are going to do the live Poodle Olympics role on this show. Okay, we're gonna do that, and I have another episode here where actually we're doing something new. We're gonna hope that the stream stays going. I'm working on it a little bit more each time, and here we go. Enough of the NFT, but I had to, right? I had to do a little bit of it. What we're doing today, I'm actually streaming live, of course, on YouTube. We're going to hope, looks like it says connection is solid. The connection is good. And we also are streaming live directly to the podcast player. So our host, which is Spreaker, you can actually go to the poodlcast page there and listen live and chat there. And it'll automatically post right into our iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Play, all of the other places we are, Amazon Music, place all those immediately upon the show. So if this goes well, this is going to be good. All right. So I'm watching the connection. We're looking good. I see everybody coming in. Susan, thank you for keeping up the streak of watching the show live. We love it. And today we have again one that came from the audience, from the Telegram. I gotta say, one of my favorite things about the Telegram is it gives me show ideas. 'Cause I gotta tell you, sometimes I got stuff and sometimes I don't. But people ask questions, and it's a great way for us to have some conversations, to do things that are somewhat educational and informative. So we're gonna do a little bit. And then we're going to take a little break. We'll do some Poodle Olympics, and I'll talk a little bit more. So hopefully we're good. I still see a green light. I'm loving it. And hopefully we might get some people on the chat too, and the podcast chat, so you can stream this, and I love it. We'll get some more marketing out about that. How, hey, if you can't get on YouTube because you're traveling or you're in the car, you'll now be able to listen live to the show throughout our podcast players. So we love it. We love everything that we're doing. And of course, Space Dog on the Alex got on our YouTube channel has the wrench. He's taken control of the spam watch today. So be careful. We've got a new, hey Sammy, how's it going? We've got a brand new or I guess a new moderator today on the chat because, that's what happens. He gets the wrench today, so everyone has to stay in line. Okay. Today, little R.E.S.P.E.C.T for the C.E.X. What do I mean by that? There is a big conversation. I don't know if it's controversial or not, but one of the things that you've noticed lately about the token is new ways to buy and swap for Poodle, right? How can you buy? We actually face this a lot when we have new investors and you're trying to explain to them, how does it work? How do you get it? I'm speaking from here in the U.S., where probably, Coinbase app is probably the single most popular. And then also Robinhood and crypto.com is, of course, becoming very big too. You got Kraken, you got a few of the others, right? But those are the kind of the monster ones, places that you can buy crypto. And by the way, if I keep looking down this, it's because I have I've got the chat over here running on separate. So we're trying to get some good signal going. So what happens is you tell someone about Poodle, you tell them about the project, and they go, okay, great. They open up their Coinbase, app, and they go, okay, well, how do I buy it? And you're like, well, you're gonna need another wallet. You're gonna move your stuff over. You gotta. Oh, by the way, you're gonna buy some BNB, and then it's gonna like go there, and then you're gonna go to this thing that's Pancake Swap, and you're gonna take the contract address off of our website, make sure it's the real website, not a fake website, and then you're gonna put that in, and then you can buy it. And it is a it can be discouraging. Let's be honest. It can be discouraging to people of how many steps it can take to get it. And this is why we have to be really impressed with the way we're doing our direct swaps, which if you look on the website now, you will see that we can do a direct swap, whether it be from other tokens, cross-chain tokens. We noticed that we had, we've done our swap zone. People have come on, and we've talked about how if you own from one wallet of your Bitcoin, your Ethereum, your whatever, and you can just swap it directly into Poodle now, which is huge. It removes some barriers. You still have to have another wallet for it, but at least it removes some barriers for people. Next, or now we can also buy using fiat as well. Now, if you're in the U.S., it does not work yet, but they're working on it. But pretty much you can use that to, of course, buy your other tokens. Still use a credit card straight in to buy Poodle, right? You still need it in your DeFi wallet and all of that stuff, right? Little teaser: we're going to have another one of our exchanges that you could do some direct swapping through. The stealth people are going to be on the show next week. So we've got another one of those coming up next week already lined up. So really excited about that. And so teasing that, I'll give some more about that. The Stealth X is really awesome. Again, yeah, there'll be guests next week. Talking to them, great show lined up to be able to discuss more on how you can do this direct swap. So now, again, I love it because it takes a barrier down and helps people through those multiple steps. Right now, that said, okay, well, what's the advantage? So we know a lot of us who invest regularly, probably I would say more advanced investors probably use a DeFi wallet of some sort where they move it out of a central exchange. They move it into a decentralized exchanges like the Pancake Swaps and all, in order to and control their own money really, and all of that. And it's how most more advanced traders do it. But the real question then was brought up is it the best way to do it? And why it is important to have an exchange, a central exchange, and just to go through. And again, I'm assuming the website may or may not be fully up to date, but I think it is. Some of the exchanges that you can actually go to and you can buy it at Hotbit, LBank, Whitebit, 1inch, right? Those are some of the main central exchanges. And again, the bigger ones people know of are Binance and Coinbase and Robinhood and all that, right? So what is the advantage of a centralized exchange? Why would you want that? The big main reason is simplicity. You open the app, you can buy and swap. You're not paying added fees. I'm sure they have a transaction fee. But it's not as big of a transition as of a fee usually, especially if, we're on the Binance Smart Chain, but let's say we are on Ethereum. And this is where you can see that there's a big example, a big idea. If you were swapping tokens on, Ethereum, or, look at it this way. If you're buying NFTs, right? You're buying NFTs and you're having to use your ETH to buy our NFTs. Well, let me go back to my dude. There we go. You want to buy him, right? You can't buy him. He's mine. Well, actually, I take it back. You make me a good enough offer, he's probably yours. But let's say you wanted to do that. you have to pay a gas fee. And what is a gas fee? Gas fee is basically a bank transaction fee, right? It's the fee that the blockchain, the people on the blockchain charge in order to make your transaction go through, right? It's just, we're used to paying fees and charges when you send wires, bank wires and stuff. It's essentially what it is, right? But it can add up, right? Especially if you're using a DeFi. I mean, we've seen gas fees. I was actually impressed this weekend. It was like down to $15 or something. Granted, it's because the cost of ETH has dropped. But yeah, I've seen transactions where they're up over, $130 or whatever. I remember buying a token a long time ago, and I was like $100 that I just to do the swap. And I was like, damn, man, how many more tokens could I have bought if that was on something else? Or if it was on a centralized exchange, okay? So now this brings me to it. So essentially what happens, a centralized exchange essentially acts like a bank where they don't really even have to own all of the tokens. They can buy their own pool of tokens and just use them between their own holders, right? So they're going to be able to absorb the fees and rather than you having to pay the transaction fee. Essentially, they're doing it within their own pool of money. Think of it like this. I like to use normal banking terms that you're used to. We all know what's the secret of a bank, right? Your bank account. What do they do with the money, right? When you deposit your paycheck in, they take that money and they go loan it out to other people, right? They don't actually hold on to it. It doesn't just sit in the bank there waiting for you to come and use it and spend it. They make it work for themselves. They're going to give it to other people. They leverage it. And then when you need bits of it, you can go and get it back. That's exactly how it works as well on a centralized exchange. What's going to happen is that they will take, your deposit in, and let's use the big one, a Coinbase, right? You take your fiat, and this is why there's an advantage. People like it. It's easy to do. You can usually link your U.S. bank account. It is regulated, based upon the United States regulations. And usually like in the States, you've got to load your driver's license on or a passport, something to prove who you are. And then you basically load up your cash, and it's like you just have a cash wallet, and they're going to let you trade around whatever tokens you want for that dollar amount that you have, right? And they might go up, they might go down. That doesn't mean they actually even have to give you those tokens, those coins or the Bitcoin or whatever you're going to buy with it. They might hold it unless tell you exchange it out or you want to move it. In which case they'll do that, right? So they're doing it on their own. So in order to avoid those, right? What it does, it makes it really easy for people, right? If you wanted to buy Bitcoin or Ethereum and you just download a regular old app, you can log in, you upload your money. A lot of times they'll just take a debit card right there and then you can purchase it, right? That's the advantage of it. Is it needed? No. Many people know that if you have, say, Trust Wallet, essentially, you can do the same thing. If you open up MoonPay, you can use a debit card, right? If you go up there and hit a Trust Wallet and you click your BNB, you still have to have a step, right? Because you have to buy the BNB and then swap it, on Pancake Swap or whatever to get your poodle. But essentially, you're only one step away where you can take that, you purchase with, through their MoonPay or whatever the credit card processor. I think they have 2 or 3 of them that rotate through. And then you can purchase. But what would then be the advantage of being on a centralized exchange? And this is where I think it's big. If you have a large centralized exchange, you have credibility. And if people were to come to us and say, do you want to be on Coinbase, or do you want to be on KuCoin? Do you want to be on Binance? Oh, I'm messing with my light here. So I don't know why I turned to green all of a sudden. I have green lights on in my room. They're all like beige. Anyway, all right. So why would you want it? And the simple answer is credibility, ease of purchasing. Some people, as we know, still don't trust crypto. In fact, actually, I have a good friend who I was having dinner with the other night, And he actually, I think he bought Poodle. He got into it. I've got a lot of friends who have gotten into it, and yet they're still critical of, crypto. They're critical of the NFT world. They're critical of the pump it because maybe they got bit by a few of them, or maybe they bought at the height, didn't know it's not worth it right now. So, what happens is when you have to tell people to be careful, right? Because you're transferring money from one thing to another, it builds up a defense. But if you have a centralized exchange like a Coinbase or a crypto.com, then they don't feel that same thing. They feel like it's another banking app, right? Just like you would download your Wells Fargo, your Bank of America, whatever, Chase Bank you have, you download it. You just see your balance there, and you can make trades. Or if you use, like you would trade normal stocks, and you open up your little stock trader, and you can trade like normal. That's the reason to be on it. One, ease of use, but two, because it builds credibility and trust. We as a community can only do so much ourselves, right? And that's why you would want it. If someone were to come to us, and we had an exchange come to us and say, hey, we want to list you. Great. Now, we don't pay for them. We do. Ever since I've been kind of on the admin side, I've seen a lot of requests come in, and I see the work that goes on behind the scenes from Sasha and Moose and all, and Space. And, we see these come in, and you go, oh, okay, this is good. But what happens is sometimes they want you to pay to be on there, right? And you have to add to their liquidity pool within their exchange. But what we've had so far, outside of early on where we did Whitebit, is everybody else has added us because they chose to. And really, a token or a centralized exchange can choose to add us if they wanted to. They would just front it. Now, they're not going to do that until they see there's value in the trading, right? Because, it's the same thing. They're going to make money on the more you trade because they will collect a slight transaction fee. And they rely on the balance. And so what we want to do, is I'll put here, the L Bank is a top 10. So they are one of the big ones. In fact, you see a lot of volume going through there. But what happens, though, is that they will give us, anyway, what I guess what I'm going to say is they can do it 100% on their own and choose to list any token they want. Now, if you want to go to be on a Binance or whatever, I think it's some god awful, like $200,000 or something extremely high. I don't actually know the number, but I remember it being very, very high to be on one of those. Well, to have that kind of money to list is one thing, but if you have a token that's building and doing all the right things, people will list us. That's what we're already seeing with our direct swap partners, right? Where we have the StealthX and we have the Swap Zone who are saying, hey, we're going to list you. We want to put you. We see that others are listing you, and we want to add you as well. And that is exactly why there's power in that, and power in our shield team. Like, why are we out there? Which I'm going to take a little break right now. See, watch this. This is like our first commercial break ever right now. Why would we want to have a shield team out there? What's with the Poodle Olympics? Why is it important? Because that's what tokens are looking at. When they want to add somebody, you have to understand with a centralized exchange, they're putting their own money at risk and their own reputation at risk. See, a DeFi exchange, a pancake swap, just has to put a warning up there telling you, hey, by the way, you know that you're loading this token into here, and it could be a scam. It might not be, right? And we see that these tokens, how many of them, if you even try to like start typing like SHIB or something like that, and you'll see your Doge, like 50,000 different versions of it pop up. So you want to make sure you have the correct contract address. Well, they warn you on that. Well, a centralized exchange, because they're selective, you know that the one you're buying, if we were going to it and you're going to L Bank and you type in Poodle, you're going to get the right Poodle. There's only one Poodle because it's curated. And that helps, and that gives people that added security. So that being said, commercial break for Poodle Olympics. Here we go. First live Poodle Olympic spin. So again, if I screw this up, then I screw it up and we'll do it again. But I was given the people from last week. We have 4 contestants in here for spin number 1. Here we go. And the first winner is... I should have music for that. Arthur. First winner is Arthur. And I'll edit the choices. And again, I have no idea how this works. I was given the names of and I think it's based on how many you get. You get different drawings based on the number of different ones. Update that. Move back over here. All right, here we go. And the next spin is drumroll. Sensi gets the number 2 spot. Number 2 spot. Who's saying that this is rigged? I have no idea. I just typed the thing. And I'm rolling this thing. I'm probably the last person who could rig this. Okay, here we go. So Sensi, we've got to edit the choices. Go out there. Update that. Oh, edit choice. Yeah, there we go. I haven't. Oh, yes, because you've got the. I don't know. Here we go. 2 people left. For the 3rd spot. And then, of course, that automatically makes the 4th spot. Iconizer in the 3rd spot. And, of course, that puts Trent in the 4th spot. I think that puts us, Iconizer, and then Trent, the one remaining, in the 4th spot. There we go. I have no idea if that was exciting or not, but there you go. There was the very first live Poodle Olympics roll. Okay, there you go. So it goes Artur, Sensi, Iconizer, and Trent. There we go. Well, of course, Trent, you come in last. Maybe you shouldn't have said something, right? You don't say it's rigged before I roll it. But you know what? You made it to the top 10. You're in the top 10, so that works, right? And you're so anyway, there we go. That was actually kind of fun. This ended up working out well. So I think I'm doing this every week. So there you go. There was our commercial break. Now let's get back to our centralized exchanges. Centralized exchanges. What is the advantage? Why? All right, here's the real question. Do we want to be on a centralized exchange, or do we like what we're doing? And I'm going to see, I would be interested to see what happens in the chat here, because I might have an unpopular opinion. I probably do have an unpopular opinion. I believe that we want to be on as many centralized exchanges as we can. Okay? Now, that's not necessarily financially doable. We want to be able to get them to add us on their own because they choose to and they see value in adding us. But the simplest that we can make it for people to purchase, the better. When you have a name behind something, the better, right? What did I say before I went to our commercial break? They have a reputation, right? Let's say one of the big exchanges put something on there that becomes a rug pull. They're the ones who have to pay the price for that, right? Not the token. I mean, the token will, and of course that would, it would already be dead anyway. But they're the ones who then would have to answer to their investors, their holders, of what happened, right? Right now, in decentralized land, world of tokens, there is no accountability if something were to happen, all right? This is why we're looking on, for example, projects. And again, I think it's public. If it's not, then just tell me to shut up and pretend you didn't say it. But like the Wagmafire project that we're doing, where we want to help people who've been rugged by other projects, and be able to give value back to them through an NFT. And actually, I think I've heard Sasha's talk about this. And so tell us what sex is next. Well, this is a family show. So I have to be careful. No. And so what we have, tell us what so again, the exchanges we have: Hotbit, LBank, Whitebit, 1inch. Those are the main ones. There might be others. And of course, we have our direct exchange partners as well, where you can cross-chain purchase, like through Swap Zone and Stealth Exchange. So make sure consider another way of doing it. But our main ones: LBank, Hotbit, LBank, Whitebit, and 1inch. So here's the thing. Do we want to be on them? The answer is yes. 100% we want to be on it. And Trent puts here, whichever one lists us for free, that's it. You know what, Trent? That was a great answer. I think we owe you one more poodle. Just one token. You get one token for that answer. Just kidding. See how generous we are on this show? Generous. I'm giving away tokens I don't even control. Okay, so here's what I want to know is, if we have a few, why do we need more? You know what? That's actually a great question. And here's why. Because of branding and confidence, right? The fact is, here in the States, I think, most people would not use Hotbit, LBank, Whitebit, or 1inch. Now, some of them might be known decently well: Whitebit, LBank, Hotbit. I guess they're known, but the fact is they're not the main. If I talk to all of my friends, which I do, and they are interested in being able to purchase, the first thing they say is, okay, I've got my Coinbase app, so how do I buy it? That is exactly what they ask. And because that is how crypto has marketed itself, good or bad, right? Same thing. People are now familiar with crypto.com because of the arena, and you've got stars that are out there being paid to support and shill it. So people trust it. And so the more you can take boundaries down for people to purchase, the better off you are. Does that mean that I'm going to leave doing it? I would ever stop doing decentralized? Probably not. I probably keep doing it the way I'm doing it because I know the value in it, and I like control of my money. I like it in a DeFi. But that's not everybody else, right? If we recognize that only 3% of the world invests in crypto, again, come back to that. 3% of the world invests in crypto. I'm willing to bet, and I don't know this, that 2/3 of that are actually people who just have random crypto purchase off of one of the major exchanges. They're not the hardcores who get a DeFi wallet, trade like we do, and all of that. They keep it. They have it in something they're comfortable with or more comfortable with, and they like the app like that. And that is, that's what will help us. The more we get in places, the fact is, even like say Binance.us or Binance, you can tell to somebody, how are you going to do it? Well, just download this app, create an account, and purchase. That's where we win, right? Right now, you can't do that when you are in DeFi for the most part. You have to use one of these four. Now, again, I think there are lots of reasons why you shouldn't be on a centralized exchange as well. But I believe that the value in them outweighs the negatives, right? I think that most people will say, and I'm just here, kind of what people say in the chat, but probably the one reason people wouldn't like to be on a centralized exchange is because of the people who believe in a decentralized market, who want to control their own crypto. They don't want government. They're afraid of government regulations, right? What happens when the government decides that they want to tax crypto more? Like, some are already doing it, and you have to keep it in a certain wallet. You have to have it there. They want to link it to your taxes. They want to, which you can do. I actually was curious about it, and I went on and I was able to sync my wallet and see my capital gains tax that I owed. I tell you, but most people don't want to do that, right? Who believe in the decentralized exchanges, which I do too. Okay, I bought probably every single bit of my I don't even have anything on a centralized, any of our 4. I got all of mine through PancakeSwap. So what's important is that if you are afraid of government regulations, if you're afraid of government taxation, if you're afraid of those types of things, you probably don't want to use a centralized exchange, because those are going to go according to government regulations. They are regulated to an extent because of the way the corporation is. They're usually recognized as as exchanges. They're recognized as investment companies. And that's probably why you wouldn't. But again, most people aren't yet to a point. If we're looking at getting the 97% of people into our token, the fact is we're going to have to make it easy for them to purchase. And that's important. People want that. It's also here, as Sasha put, which is important, that not everybody, you won't necessarily always get the tokenomics if they're in an essential, and that is actually true. I think that we're working, and honestly, I don't know everything, we're working with some who will allow that. But again, I'm going to pretend about it. But yeah, if you can't get the tokenomics, then and you can't get the redistribution, because again, like, we're redistributing based on BSC scan of how many tokens or how many accounts and wallets are there. That's your redistribution, right? The L Bank wallet or the Hotbit wallet or whatever appears as one wallet. So it might get the redistribution or whatever, but it's up to them to then make sure their people get it. So there is a step in the between there. I am not a master at that. I should do some more research, and I can do another episode more on how all of that works, which is good. I mean, I guess I need more material, so I'm going to have to learn more on that. But yeah, as was here, we do need both. We do need both, and I think that again, this is the time in the world. I think that if I put on my crystal ball, which I put on my crystal ball, my hat or whatever, if I guess what's happening, my guess is that in the future we will be more decentralized, that the crypto world will actually get to where it needs to be. I believe that we'll have enough regulations to where people can use the main apps. They can go in, but it's still DeFi. So, for example, as you may know, you can get a Coinbase and you can get your Coinbase wallet, right? They actually have both the main Coinbase app and they have a DeFi wallet. Crypto.com has both their main app and they have a DeFi wallet, right? And you can actually sync the two. I think that's the direction we'll end up going, which kind of gives you the best of both worlds. And I'm actually fine with that. But what does that say for Poodle? How do we get on these centralized exchanges, especially the big ones? Because here's the thing. For us as a token community, there's no disadvantage of being on one, okay? As an investor, there are advantages and disadvantages each way. It's up to you to decide, based on your research, which way is more important to you. Do you want the security of someone else holding your money, and you've got that, and you're putting your faith in them being your account holder? Or do you want the full control over it, but there's more risk in that, right? That's on you. But the fact is, we definitely need to be on all. How are we going to do it without paying for it? And maybe one day, if we grow and we 1000x, and maybe we can afford to pay for it. But what's funny is, if we can get to 100x, and I think this was my response when I was on the Telegram. If we do 100x on our own, our hardest bit is going to be the 100x. Then the 1000x will be easy. Let me say that again. The hardest part right now for us is this 100x. The 1000x will be easy. Why do I say that? I say that because right now we need to get the momentum, and this is why I love our Shiller. I love our Shill team. I love what they're out there doing. I love hanging out in the GIF room and a GIF room. You call it whatever you want. I'm a GIFer. And seeing the great work that they're doing and creating and getting out there on the socials. But the thing is we have to gain that. This is where also deliverables become important, right? We're getting our NFTs out there, getting our, demons and angels, getting this being used within gaming. All of those utilities that we've been talking about are going to be extremely important for us. That's where we keep pushing, and we push forward and we push forward and we push forward. That's going to be the hardest part. But when we 10x, or when we hit that 1-0, right, notice how much starts happening. If you ever notice your redistribution, every single time we hit near that, killing that 0, what happens? People, excitement. And that's really what we need. As we can start creating and selling the NFTs, and we end up getting more of the gaming, we get more of the shilling, and we start seeing these other partners and these projects come up, these things that we're working on start to come to fruition. What you're going to see is that you're going to start seeing that momentum creates momentum. The real, people call it FOMO, right? Other people are going to be fear of missing out, right? But I don't even know that it's even FOMO. It's momentum creates momentum. People like to be part of something that's positive, which is why I love our community. But then when they see something going, they love the excitement of it. And I think that's where we want to recognize that as we kill the first, you realize 1000x is only 3 tens, right? 3 tens. And as we start to get there, what's going to happen is we get through this first 0, you're going to start seeing a lot of people really want to push this, because of the eyes that are on this project. They're going to go, okay, Poodle's finally there. Let's get it. And the money's going to jump in. That's going to help us get through the next 0. Once we get to that 100, that's when you'll start seeing all the big exchanges say, I want to be part of this. We're going to list you, and you won't have to pay for it, because it'll be in their economic advantage, right? With the amount of volume, we've talked about this before. Market cap's not important. Volume is important, right? Trade volume, activity is important. That's what they're looking for. If a centralized exchange wants to list us, what they're going to do is they're going to go, how much are we going to make? How much are people buying and trading this, right? If you were to open up any of the, trading things, Binance or whatever, and you watch the live chart on, for Bitcoin, you can see it's bam, bam, bam being sold, little bits of it every second, and not, even less than a second. It's just going and going and going. Well, how many buys and sells are we getting per day? It's not a ton. It's good. There's good weeks, there's bad weeks, right? That's the nature of it. So it's activity, it's volume. That's the key. And of course, why is volume good for us? Because that gets us redistribution, makes your wallet bigger. But that's what's important, is that redistribution. Redistribution, the volume. So as we get through the 10, the money will come out. The eyes that have been on us are going to come out. That will get us to the 100, right? At that 100x, that's when the exchanges will hit. That's when there will be a ton of volume. That's when we see the big push. The fact is, if you look at the tokens who have really, really made it and have taken off, they did so after making it onto the major exchanges. That's not by accident. Okay. By the time they get to only, say 3 or 4 zeros left, they're already on the major exchanges. They're getting there, and they're being listed because those exchanges see the value in the transactions, and they see the value in where they can push the token price, right? Right now, we're just not there. That's why it's important we get out there and shill. So what can you do? If you want to get to where, we want to be 1,000x, which I believe we are. I believe we're definitely undervalued. I think we're just shy of 100x undervalued for what we do in our roadmap. The rest of it will depend upon how we deliver on the things that we're road mapping. But how do we get there? You guys got to get out there and chill. I mean, that's it. You have to get out there every single day, and you have to keep building the project and show why it's important. And it's, we are no longer a meme coin. We are a utility token, right? That's important. We are a utility that has value. In fact, you could even say we're a currency now because you can use now payments to go buy stuff. That's huge. Are we talking about that? And are you talking about it in ways that mean something? Are we really talking about the charities that we've done? I want to get Kristen back on the show because I saw they were able to give away even more money this year. And we know that we were part of that, right? Because we helped give them extra donations. We're giving $1,500 to $2,000 a month, which I'm sure in the major life of their organization isn't everything, but it helps. Are we telling that story? What's the narrative you're telling people? Why? When someone says to you, "Why should I buy Poodle?" Do you jump to, well, it's undervalued and it's going to make you rich? I mean, is that where you go? Or do you talk about how it can change lives? Do you talk about how, it can be great for entertainment, how our community is there, how the billion reasons we have, right? Are you talking about roadmap? Are you talking about how we've taken NFTs into a place that becomes entertainment and the app and all of those things? Are you doing that? Or are you just saying, oh, because you're going to get rich. We're going to moon tomorrow. Well, we're not going to moon tomorrow. Sorry. Now, if we do, I'm happy to call myself wrong. But the fact is we're a long-term project. Everything is a long-term project. And one thing that, if you go listen back to the very, very first few episodes, I said our success comes not off of these few weeks right now. When I started this back in May, it's not now. It's this show still exists in 2022. Because how many tokens have been created and died? And yet we're still here. We're kicking. Our liquidity is still locked. I already gave the warning. I'm seeing it happen now with tokens that are getting the liquidity unlocked and are getting rugged left and right. NFT projects are getting rugged left and right, and yet we're still here. We're still strong. We're still growing. We're still moving forward. That's why this token means something. Our story is important. The fact that we are still thriving is important. That builds confidence. People want to know that a token has been there and that they're doing something. That's also when the centralized exchanges will start to see us and want to list us more. That's the important thing. So with that being said, I really thought this was going to be like a 20-minute episodes, and here I am 44 minutes in. And so I'm going to go ahead and end it, everybody. We have the Stealth Exchange people. Let me and I'll tell you who. Let me get over there. Stealth Exchange _StealthX_IO on the Twitters. They're going to be on the show next week. We're going to talk a little bit to them. And a great. Obviously, we absolutely love our exchange partners. We love those. Who help us as a community and have these strategic relationships with. So they'll be on. It'll be a great episode. And again, until next week, everybody, love you, Poodle fam. See you next week.